Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So, I want to continue upon our thought experiment and my notes about things good wife should do, should know, things men should look for, and what does a healthy marriage look like versus a negative one. So, we're continuing upon that vein. It's a beautiful rainy day. I like it, mashallah. The children are inside and they're not going to go to their martial arts lessons today, so you might hear a little bit more noise than usual. Okay? So, I wrote here, as you saw in the thumbnail, that a good wife gives her husband space. Now, I did ask my husband for what his perspective was too, and I ran some of my ideas by him, and he really brought this one up, and it's something that I do for him. Why do I say this? Because there are some women who get jealous and possessive and don't let their husbands we don't have boyfriends in Islam, but if you're a disbeliever watching this, you would say boyfriend. And Christians do dating, so Christians have boyfriends. They don't let their boyfriends go and work out, their husbands, right? This makes them fat. I have noticed some women, they also, when they have their children, they get very angry when their husband's in shape and they're not, and they don't look very beautiful, because you gotta bounce back, and they start to resent their husband, and some of them want him to look with what they call a dad bod. Women claim they want that, but it's usually they want their husband to downgrade himself so that she doesn't have a low self-esteem, and this is not healthy for your husband. So you need to let him have his space to do his things, okay? And I know already there's going to be a feminist getting ready to type something or scream and say, what about me? But this isn't a video about what husbands should do for their wives. It's about what a good wife should do. And one of those things is to give her husband space, okay? Now, that includes he needs to go for a jog, right? Go to his workout area, his all-male gym, if you have a home gym. If he wants to go for, some men like to do cycling, so if he wants to go hit the trail, or some people go mountain biking, let him go mountain biking, surfing. He needs time away from you. And I know there's some women who think, my husband should want to be around me 24/7, and I must be like an octopus on his back. I think the phrase that creating distance makes someone actually have the capacity to miss you is important. If you recall, you can look this up. There's articles that were written that during the lockdowns, there was more reports of domestic violence. And I think that's because people were crammed in with each other and there wasn't really much to do. And you're filled with worry because you're losing money, bills are stacking up, and there's extreme paranoia, and you're just with somebody, and it's after about watching 2 hours of something on the TV or your cell phone or whatever, your computer, you start to get cabin fever, and couples not being able to separate from each other can really create animosity and boredom. Okay? If you're going to get married in your 20s, and you'll say you die in your 90s, that's many, many years looking at the same face. Okay? And you need to have space from each other. You need to have the time where you can just zone out and connect with yourself. And so, your husband's going to need that too. Women say they need their personal space. Men also do. And you should not resent your husband for wanting to go out somewhere without you. Whether he wants to go to the bank. Like, sometimes husbands will take the kids with them, and sometimes they won't. But that mutual connection of, I need my personal space, and I want time to myself to do a hobby is important. This could include also for men who like to play video games. My husband doesn't play video games, and he does tell me when I used to play, it's been about over 3 years since I played. But he would say he hated to see me play video games. So I would just stop playing when he was around. because he just didn't like it. And there are women who also don't like to see their husbands play video games. And it's almost sometimes I feel like some wives have a problem with their husbands having time away from them. And I see a lot of prank videos where girlfriends, not even wives, will delete their husband's game console or try to interrupt him while he plays. They're very disrespectful. I don't find those kinds of pranks funny, but there seems to be a trend of just really nitpicking your husband to death on the hobbies he likes to do where he can zone out, and video games are really fun. So how can I personally knock someone for playing video games when I myself like them, and I also like to watch people play them? I think it's just about managing time. But when you're a dad, you're gonna need time to have things to yourself. And it's true, when the kids get older, you'll have lots of time to yourself. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get that tension and stress out of your body. Because when your children are small, they test your nerves more. Tantrums, not sleeping through the night. There can just be difficulties. And you need to have a healthy way to express your stress. And a woman should say to herself, hey, do I prefer my husband to play video games or smoke weed? You see, if you don't create a healthy outlet, then something will come up and make it worse. Some people also have horseback riding. They have a chicken coop. Maybe the husband wants to do some yard work. Some men like that. Or they work on their truck. They work on the engine, or they clean out their car. I noticed that my husband likes to do that. You know, I'm gonna go clean out the truck. He likes to keep it clean. And if you're a wife and you're like, yeah, but I want to do this, and it's like, just let him have his space. Okay? You don't have to be his shadow. I think some women really don't understand how much of a shadow they are, how much they're like they're just all over him. And I mean, that's suffocating. It's strange. It's almost like some women will be their husband's shadow, but if he did that to them, they would be like, get away from me, but then they're doing it to him. So I think just having that balance of, hey, you know, let's have our space. Actually have time to miss each other. And when you're around each other a lot, you criticize the other one. You try to be like, oh, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this, I hate that. You know, you don't want to always have people up in your space. Personal space is important, and having time to your own self is essential to them being able to connect with their thoughts and just let their thoughts flow. So that's something that I wanted to share. And hopefully, if you didn't think about something like that, you can think about it now. But men should be very careful, because they will meet women, and men are like working out, they're on their fitness routine, eating good. They get with a woman, and then she starts to slowly take away his hobbies. You know, like, oh, can you not go to the gym? Stay with me, cuddle with me, watch Netflix with me. And then little by little, he doesn't go anymore. He gets fat. Then she starts being more mean to him because he's not as handsome, because he's a chunky. And so you have to be less possessive. And a lot of women are also just utterly paranoid if their man goes anywhere without them. It's quite strange. But then those women turn around and say, oh, Islam says I have to have someone to travel with me if I go a far distance. So those women will say we should be able to travel by ourselves, but then they will criticize their man if they go anywhere without them. You see what I'm saying? So there's a hypocrisy there. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the blog.